today. We'll talk about their experience, and we have Asian Strategy Challenge. This is the longest project that we have. It lasts 7 months, given the average project length is 3 months at ESSEC. So this is the longest project that we have, which actually follows the students throughout their learning journey at ESSEC. They start studying in September. The project already starts in October, and it's actually ongoing now, and we will be finishing in the first week of May with the final jury, right? So this innovative project, and I'm also very proud to say that we have a record number of projects and partner collaborations in 2020 when we started the new academic year with SMIP. So we have 14 projects and 10 innovative companies joining us. Next slide, please. Right. So now you will see the logos of the companies that we work with. These are very recent logos and don't include the current project that started in 2021, right? So these logos only include the 2019 and 2020, right? So you could see various companies, various organizations. It could be MNC, startup, NGO, SME, both French and international, as well as Asian. The ones that you might be interested in that are really disrupting, right? The industry is a grab for business. You see here in the middle of the right side. Then you see IFC, International Finance Corporation. So they all came under the MIM, Master in Management, Global Manager in Asia project. Then you see DHL. DHL was our strong partner under Operations Management and under SMIP the previous years. I should mention, okay, here's the logo of the LVMH Christian Dior, because we have also our student representing LVMH chair. I should mention we had a very strong inaugural collaboration with Parfums Christian Dior. In 2019-2020 SMIP, Asian Strategy Challenge, that was first ever LVMH collaboration with ESSEC in Asia, right? So we are very proud of it. There are many companies. I should mention also Heineken, who came to us at different levels, starting from the ASCP at the Asian APAC headquarter level on their digital initiatives. Then with the current SMIP, and Durga knows it very well, that's the project she represents. We have Heineken from Heineken non-regional country office working with us from Indonesia. So that's a very different level of engagement. And for example, for Yuning, I want to say Decathlon, because Decathlon is actually not an FMCG company. It's a very actually innovative e-commerce company. So they are trying to base their business model in Asia very differently than what they do in other parts of the world, right? So we are very proud to collaborate with them. And based on these projects, you could already see the niche companies that are actually very strong in luxury and digital under MMD, Marketing Management and Digital Program, on your left side, top left side, Johnson & Johnson, Richemont. We've started working with L'Oreal. So MMD 2021 challenge also includes L'Oreal and Decathlon. And what I'm proud of, in short, about our partners and our collaboration with partners is, of course, the quality work our students do is the first thing. Second thing is really learning by doing and your own career shaping that the students embark on, right? So the Dior example that I mentioned in 2019-2020, the top student got an interview and a job and in headquarters, and Dior headquarters in Paris, right? Following the success of the project and her own personal contribution. We have a lot of stories when students get internships, got recommendations, got referrals based on the quality work that they did. And probably lastly, what I should say about the partners is it's always a win-win approach, right? We always embark on a partnership thinking what will come out of it? What are the expectations at the company side? What is the expectation on the ESSEC side? What the students would like to learn? how we could complement their studies with the practice, which actually we put them out of their comfort zone, and they explore by themselves as real consultants, and using their knowledge, their skills and creativity, they bring a quality product that we are jointly proud of. So in the last 2 slides, I'll just briefly mention about the ESSEC. Next slide, please, Sonia. Yep, thanks. ESSEC chair program, chair, we call it in French. It is a big growing program. It is a unique collaboration between ESSEC and the companies on a more high level and strategic level to answer the company needs as well as ESSEC needs and priorities, both for the students and institution. So we have 21 chairs in total. And my last slide, I will speak specifically on the chairs. We have, it's a very competitive process. We have 909 applicants in total, and only less than half, 430, are admitted into the chairs. It is a pedagogical program that runs for 6 months during the January to June. And then the eligibility, basically students for master programs and global BBA program in their final year are eligible to apply. The class size for chair, you could see, are 20 to 60 students, right? And the last slide would talk about the list of chairs that we have, right? And actually this list of chairs is growing because an hour ago I had another call, global call, and there will be another chair in a few weeks' time that is actually will be connected with one of my projects. So I'm actually very happy to see that as well. So list of chair programs. And now you see the connection between my projects and chairs. That's why we left chairs at the last slide. Actually, the digital business chairs, I work with 3 chairs out of the 4 here. Why? Because if you remember in my earlier slide, I mentioned about the flagship project. Okay. Remember ASCP, right? Asian Strategy Consulting Project. So in order to select students, we need students with a very strong digital and consulting background, right? And of course, the interest and motivation in Asia and consulting. So I work closely with the chairs in France to actually ask students to apply for the highly competitive ASCP project. So these are the 3 chairs I'm working with, plus the first FMCG chair. The next chair, 2 chairs are under entrepreneurship and innovation. The next one is under finance and economics. Then we have 3 strong chairs under health, food, and sports, because it's a strong focus as well. Then we have 1 under IT, data, and operations. We have a strong chair under luxury and beauty, and we have a representative, our student representative from LVMH here tonight. Then we have 1 in management and society. It's a leadership and diversity chair with L'Oreal. Then we have 1 in 2 chairs under public and private policy, right? And other chairs that are actually represented by a few partners is client strategy and creativity by Renault and Xerox, and the savoir-faire exception management chair is actually something very, very close to the heart of any French person. It's Chanel, Van Cleef & Arpels, right? And we also work closely with these brands, right? So that's the end of my presentation for tonight, and I'll stay on after the other speakers to answer any questions you might have. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening.
Thank you, Estelle. Actually, if you look at the list of chairs, the ones that was highlighted are the students that we have tonight also. But I think before we jump into having the students on board, we actually prepare a few surveys. So we want to get to know a little bit more about, you know, your interests and where you are in terms of your preparation. If you are, you know, if you're here joining us tonight, I think you are considering, you know, doing a master with ESSEC, perhaps, you know, either next year or in the near future. So we would like to run a very quick survey and give you a minute to let us know more about, you know, your interests and also your profile. ESSEC admission is open, well, for this year's intake is open until end of April. For most programs. So if you're considering this year, obviously the students should have already GMAT or GRE tests. If you don't have, then perhaps, obviously the next year intake will open again around August. For the 2020 intake, ESSEC has one admission round per year. So that's, for your information. I'm not sure, I can't really tell if the poll, okay, perfect. So yeah, do let us know, if you are considering when to start your master degree, 2021, 2022, or if you're not quite sure, then perhaps it's 2022. So just, vote quickly. So we will move on to the next part of the talk. So meanwhile, I think, this is about time to introduce all our speakers who are waiting today. So perhaps I think the ones for SMEP and MMD, I know there are a lot of interest for the chairs also, but then, for Singapore campus, these are very exciting programs. We have a lot of candidates here tonight also considering joining SMEP or joining MMD next year. So would you like to give us a little bit of introduction? Tell us about, your background and how is your journey so far in ESSEC Singapore? Perhaps we can start with SMEP. Durga?
Hi everyone. I'm Durga. I'm part of the SMEP program. I study on the Singapore campus. So maybe I'll quickly introduce myself. So previously I graduated from NUS in 2020. I did my bachelor's in economics. And then immediately after I did my master's I chose ESSEC, and I'm doing this SMEP program now. So far, the journey has been very interesting and super exciting. The main reason is because of the ASC project, really. I think it really keeps me busy in a good way, because on top of the usual learning that we do in the classrooms, we really get to practice our skills tangibly through the ASC project. And yeah, so I'm really excited to speak about the project later on.
Great, thank you. And how about Yuning?
Hi everyone, and good evening. Thanks for joining us. So my name is Yuning, and just like Durga, I graduated from NUS, but I did my bachelor's in linguistics. So currently I am in the Master's in Marketing Management and Digital program. And as you can see on the slide, I'm working with Decathlon for our Digital Marketing Challenge. So far, we're still in the midst of coming up with a marketing strategy for them, which I'll talk more about later. But so far, it's been really, really eye-opening and really, it's challenging, but it's fun.
Right, and then we have a few of the MIM students here. So should we start with the ladies? Well, actually, I'm not sure if Supita is here. I cannot really see from my screen, but basically Supita is currently already working for LVMH in Singapore, but she's working. So I think she may be joining us a bit late. She's from the LVMH chair, started in Singapore and then went to Sergi. And then now she moved back to Singapore, started working full-time. So she already completed the program earlier this year. But then we also have two current students who basically is still ending or finishing their program, the MIM program. So we have Noor tonight and Sam.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Sonia. So yes, I'm currently a second-year MIM student. I actually started my first year in Singapore, and now I'm doing my second and last year in Sergi. I'm enrolled in the Accenture's Strategic Business Analytics chair, which goes from started this January and ends end of June. So yes, currently we are in the mid of courses. We had our intensive week where we had many workshops and presentations from Accenture. It was very interesting, and we are working on our project with a worldwide hotel chain by analyzing the data to be able to create value for them. that's a quick presentation.
Hi. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sam. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm doing my chair in digital disruption with BNP Paribas. Coincidentally, because of the chair, I learned more about the company, and now I work for them as well. I'm on the second year of my apprenticeship contract with them. I work as a data scientist, and before that, I've done a couple of internships with Amazon and Palico, and a research and a project with Google for my chair. So happy to talk about all of these later on.
Great. Thank you. So I think we have our next question. After hearing all these, do you know which program are you more interested in? So we actually prepare a list of the programs that we offer without work experience requirements. So let us know a little bit about which one you're considering. We'll send you a brochure or we'll give you some more information afterwards. So perhaps, I think we should just jump into the question of, for example, I know you guys are all very excited, or you wanted to do these industry projects when you choose to join ESSEC. So did you choose the program because of the projects that are available, that are part of the program, or how was that application? Or I know for the chairs, obviously they will, you guys need to apply for that chair. So how was that process? And for SMIP and MND, I know you guys don't need to apply, but you do need to, for example, I know for SMIP you need to well, you do need to apply, submit application, but everyone do get a project. So how does that process work when you join ESSEC? And do you choose your preference, or was it assigned? And how did you find, the match? Is that something that you wanted, or are you happy with what you get so far?
Okay, maybe I'll go first. So the ASC is essentially a 7-month consulting project with a partner organization. So 7 months is a long time. So we have to really pick out the company that we're working with at the start. So let me just share about the process. So at the start of the SMIP program, we had different company presentations, and during the company presentations, the company would outline the project scope as well as the project deliverables, what they expect from us, as well as what kind of skills they are looking for in their ideal candidate. So although the companies, they are open to any open to having anyone, some of them have specific requirements, such as they want a person with a data background, like has studied data science or something like this. But not to worry, because everyone is definitely can secure a project. Yeah, and then after the company presentations, the next thing we had to do was to choose among choose 5 companies, and then a cell would allocate based on our profile, based on what we study, as well as based on the cover letter to our company for us. Yeah, that's basically the process.
Great.
I think I'll go next. So ESSEC is known to have this learning by doing pedagogy, and that's why I was extremely attracted to ESSEC as my postgraduate choice. And for me, because actually my process is a little different from Durga, I couldn't choose the company. In fact, I was assigned the company, and everyone in the MMD program was assigned different companies actually. And yeah, Essel was the one that also, I think she was the one that liaised with the companies as well. But so far the process has been okay, because I was quite happy with the company that I got. It has something to do with like social media marketing. So what we did was that we met with the lady in charge of the social media marketing division in Decathlon, and then we talked more about the expectations from each of us. And I'm also, by the way, working in a group of 6 people. So we each came together, thought about like the strengths and weaknesses, presented it to the representative from Decathlon, and then the representative from Decathlon was like, okay, let me give you some suggestions on how you guys can work at it. So that's kind of like how the process went for us. It wasn't as long as Durga's, where she had to like choose the company. I was just kind of just given to us. But other than that, we're still at it. We're still working at it. And actually, we're going to meet with the mentor soon just to see where we're at in the midst of our strategy. So in this industry project, it's really great that we have that one-to-one liaison with the representative. So it really gives you a good insight on the company's needs and wants in order to guide your strategy for them.
Great. And how often do you meet with your mentor? Is it a very intensive experience for you guys?
I think it differs from group to group. So I know that other groups, they meet their mentor like every single week. But for my mentor, I think she established with our group that she'll check in on us like maybe once every 3 weeks, that sort of thing. So that at least gives us a period of time to work on something before we meet with her and then show her our progress. Yeah, so at least we have something that's new and improved from the last time we saw her.
And would you say it's very relevant to what you guys, because you guys are also taking classes on the side, right? So is there synergy between the projects that you guys are doing and then the classes you're taking at the same time?
Oh, definitely. Like for mine, it's a social media project for Decathlon. And at the same time, we're taking classes on social media, content marketing. And last semester, we had a digital marketing strategy course. So really, we just see everything coming together, you know, all the theories and all the lessons that we've learned, we're able to apply them directly into this project, you know, and it's great because it really just shows you how relevant the course material is and how it's so easily applicable to any industry project that you do in the field of digital marketing.
That's great to hear. Okay, so I think we can move on to the MIM students, alumni. So can you tell us a little bit about, you know, your experience in the chairs? I know MIM students are not required to join a chair, like one of the chairs. So what motivates you to apply and to get into the chair? And is it something that you want to do as a career? So you join the chair to learn a little bit more about that?
If you want, I can start by answering.
Of course.
So in my case, why I wanted to join the Accenture Strategic Business Analytics chair is that it's actually the career path that I want to continue. I want to continue as a consultant in the technology. And I think this chair would help me build all the skills required, and especially that, as everybody has said, it not only offers the courses, it offers real life projects. So we'll be working with them, with a company, and so we'll be applying what we're learning. And if you want, I can start by maybe just explaining the application process. Yes, for the Accenture's SBA chair. So in October, we fill up an application, and this application basically asks us why we want this chair. So I explained to them that coming from an engineering background, then I worked for 3 years as a consultant in the fintech industry, and then I want to continue in this career path. And there were also several other questions to understand my background, my experiences. And after filling up this application, we get shortlisted to an interview. And in this, we have an interview where we have 24 hours to prepare a case. And then we have an interview with a business coach and a data coach where we present our results. And then we get the results if we got accepted. And the chair starts in January, as I said previously. It's a 6-month program. And we'll be working. So I think maybe the difference with an industry project is that you take within the chair, there are courses included for the chair. And at the same time, and usually these courses, they'll be more project-based courses. So we'll be also working on projects. And we have like the big chair projects, which is with the company that we're working with. And we actually, how we choose, if you'd like to know how we choose our case or our big project, is that we bid points. So you make a priority list. There are many projects with many companies, and we make what is our priority. And then we randomly, for example, there's an algorithm that's of course with a strategic business analytics. There's an algorithm that gives us which case we got for each group.
Does it require engineering background to join this chair?
No. Most, I think a big part of the students, so it is, I think, one of the biggest chairs in terms of number of students. We're 60, and many of them, most of them are not engineers. That's the good thing about the chair, is that yes, we are working in data, but nowadays every company is data driven. So knowing about data has become important to everyone, not only a skill required for engineers. And we also have all the sources available for us. So for example, we are registered in Data Camp, which is an online site where we have all courses available for us to take to learn if we need to learn about a specific software language. So yeah.
Great, that's really interesting. So I know Supita is here, so I'm going to quickly introduce her. Supita also started her MIM degree in Singapore, and then when she went to Paris, she actually did an internship, then joined the Sergi campus in the LVMH chair while she was there. So Supita, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about your LVMH chair experience and why did you join the chair?
I think you're on mute.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Hi everyone, I'm Supita, and I'm an ESSEC alumni, and now I'm currently assistant e-merchandiser for Louis Vuitton South Asia. So before I started this job, I joined ESSEC 3 years ago at the Singapore campus, and then I joined ESSEC because I know that ESSEC is very, very famous in the luxury industry. So that's why I decided to join this school. And I did my first year in Singapore, and then I went to Paris to do my first internship at L'Oréal in Paris, and then joined LVMH chair, and then did my final internship at Christian Dior in the e-commerce department. And finally, I got a job in this amazing Louis Vuitton maison. So just to share a little bit about the LVMH chair, I think maybe some of you guys might already know that ESSEC is quite well known in this luxury industry. So LVMH chair is one of the longest chair at ESSEC. So during the chair, you got to, apart from like taking classes and related to luxury, you get a chance to actually interact with the people who actually working in this industry. For example, I went to Louis Vuitton headquarters to meet the one who developed the smartwatch for Louis Vuitton, and we had this amazing visit to the Christian Dior Museum, which is very exclusive and not open to the public. Or we get a chance to talk to we get a chance to go to the Louis Vuitton Museum at Agnières, which is also very exclusive as well. So we got a chance to see a lot of things that might not be very open to the public, and actually get to interact and know the very essence of the industry itself from the people who work there. And at the end of the share, we all have to do the sort of the final project. So my final project was with Christian Dior for the e-commerce team. And after that project, I had the opportunity to continue my internship with them, which is like really opened my world, because when I first interested in luxury, people wouldn't be interested in e-commerce plus luxury. People would be interested in like marketing, merchandising, and those kind of things. But when I did the final project, I found that it's very interesting. And now here I am working in the e-commerce for Louis Vuitton in Asia. And that's it, my
Great.
little experience.
Yes. So comparing to the other two programs, SMIP and MMD, MIM is usually designed for students who may not necessarily know what they want to do when they apply to the master program. So students are usually perhaps fresh out of their undergraduate study, and then they want to pursue a master, but may not be 100% realize what they want to do as a career. So the MIM program is very flexible, and there are many of these projects and chairs also for students to gain a better insight into a particular direction or a particular field. Would you agree, Sam? Like, is it also for you? Did you wanted to do digital disruption when you joined ESSEC, or how was your journey?
Yeah. So Sonia, would you be able to share like the next slide? I'm not sure if it's there. Like sort of summarizes digital disruption chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So sort of. So I came from Unilever back in the Philippines. I worked for over a year, and I decided to apply to ESSEC mainly because I realized that there was a huge skill gap between my digital skills and those of the rest of the world. I wanted to learn about AI and all the latest digital disruptions and technologies. So I applied to ESSEC, and when I got in, I took classes for the digital disruption chair prior to getting admitted, so that when I do the application, when I do the interviews and the screening rounds, I'd have a better chance because I know the professors already. So after my first trimester, I applied. I was fortunate enough to get one of the 30 slots, over 100 applicants. And then afterwards, I did a couple of academic courses, and we had training with some professional executives from different corporations like Microsoft, Amazon, Carrefour, and Google. And eventually, in the third trimester, what I liked about it was I was able to apply everything that I learned from my first 2 trimesters in the MIM program towards an industry project. So we were matched with different companies. And for me, they had Pinterest, Facebook, Google, BNP Accelerator, and a bunch of other companies. I was matched with Google's marketing department. So we tried to figure out how to retarget French millennials and capture them in the market. And then simultaneously, I was doing an internship with a private equity fintech firm. So I was working like 70, 80 hours because I had both commitments. And we also had a digital excursion abroad for a week. So it was an all expense paid trip to Estonia, and we traveled to the nearby country of Finland, Helsinki. There we got to learn about from pioneers in a lot of industries and a lot of startups rather in Estonia, and we were able to talk with founders, government leaders, ministers, and venture capitalists. So I guess what I really like about all this is what my previous colleagues have said, is that there's this learning by doing approach, and there's this blended learning approach where while you're taking academic courses, you get to apply them through professional settings, whether it's a professional training class with executives, with an industry project, or a couple of trips. Does that answer the question? Sonia?
Sonia, you're on mute.
Yeah. So just a sample of one of the reasons why I chose the chair as well was because our executive director was a manager in Google. He's been there for 11 years. And what I liked about it, again, was like some of the lectures that I got from the class, some of the classes that we had were taught by business executives. So for our first class was taught by people from Amazon and Carrefour, where they talked about their new retail business model. Then we got to go to La French Tech, where we talked about how to scale a startup. We had lectures in machine learning and virtual reality with Microsoft and Google, and then the future of fintech with BNP, the sponsor of the chair, and then how to disrupt the luxury sector with 3D printing, with digital additive manufacturing. And then we talked about scaling ecological transitions for Uber. And then one of our last lectures was with a former digital economy minister of France, Fleur Paléron, and she currently works as a partner for a VC firm, and she talked to us how to sort of break into the VC industry and what is it like to get funding for your startup. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, these are just some of the courses that you can get from the Digital Disruption Chair. And then some of the other chair projects that my classmates did with Google, Facebook, Pinterest, and BNP. And yeah, like I said, we had a chair trip. So yeah, done with this presentation.
Okay, so I think we have some questions, and basically, well, this one is specifically to the Digital Disruption Chair, but I guess it also applied to other chairs and other experience is, are there actual placement afterwards? I think Estelle was actually sharing a little while ago, one of her students who did the Dior project in Singapore actually got called for an interview, and there was a success story that she had managed to secure a job. But then have you guys also heard from your classmates or anyone among your peers that got offer for internship or offer for a job perhaps during or after the program? Did it lead to any real opportunities afterwards?
So I'll start with this.
Yeah.
Sonia, if you could share that slide again. I think I put an appendix on the very, very, very last part for like place, just in case someone had a question on placements. But while that is being shared, I got the job because I did the chair. So I learned about BNP's culture, about its management team, and I like working. I realized that I like their culture. I like how they do things. So I applied to BNP and got an apprenticeship with them. It's a 2-year contract where they sort of sponsor a portion of my studies. And then here's an example of other people who have gotten opportunities within the Digital Disruption Chair. Some people did consulting. So you see some people go to McKinsey, Strategy and Capgemini, BNP Paribas internal consulting. And then some people go to startups as a digital sales manager, product managers. And then we have people who go to large corporations as well. Sort of not updated. If I can just share it myself. Oops. Sonia, is it possible for me to share? Maybe there's an up.
I think you can, but I'm not sure if you have.
There you go. Yeah, I think I updated the slide here. So yeah, so some people work in startups, some people work in large corporations. These are just people in my batch, all right? Not even the 2020, 2018, 2016, 2021 batch, but for my batch, some people worked in Google, Allianz, and you can, Amazon, Microsoft, L'Oreal. And as you can see, there's a mix of nationalities. It's not just people with an EU nationality or visa, or not just people from Asia, but it's people from different parts of the world getting opportunities everywhere. And this is just one chair. Again, there's like lots of other chairs. There's the LVMH chair and the Accenture chair, which are arguably more popular than the Digital Disruption Chair.
Estelle, since you've been in ESSEC for a bit longer than the students, I mean, do you have more success stories? Have you heard from other students through the projects? Are they getting called for interview? Do you have something more to share about this?
Yeah, actually, it's not coincidental at all. I think it is the project plus, of course, it's hard work on behalf of the student. You know, their own contribution as well, because nowadays finding a job is not easy in any market, and COVID kind of, you know, makes it even more difficult. But I want to say that I loved what all the previous speakers mentioned, and Sam said that you know, all your various experiences contribute actually to the job you want to search. What I can say, for example, here in Asia, right, I do try to play a part in the student's career journey together with our career services office. So there are a lot of success stories. If I need to mention just a few for the sake of this webinar, for the ASCP Asian Strategy Consulting Project under the Master in Management, basically all the students are already pre-selected for this project. And all of them have very strong background and skills and previous experience in digital, in consulting, and in Asia. So the students come from various backgrounds. So right now, we finished a 2020 project in December. So I have one student currently here in Singapore, arrived from France, and who is doing internship with Artifact, right? A boutique consulting firm, very strong in digital. I can also share that a lot of staff, actually, a lot of consultants at the junior to the senior director level at the Capgemini Invent, our strategic partner, right, are coming from ESSEC. Actually, ESSEC is the biggest talent contributor for Capgemini Invent, and this is globally, right? So right now, I'm working with the senior director in Munich, in Germany. She's ESSEC alumni, actually. She did ACP here in Singapore. We have another alumni here in Singapore, Sylvain. So he used to be with Capgemini Invent. Now he works as a vice president on digital transformation, actually, in the local bank here in UOB in Singapore. So we also have a lot of success stories. All the students, I don't want to just focus on one program, to be fair to all other programs like MMD and SMEP. The employability rate is very high. And of course, I could say that the program is so nicely structured and so relevant in the current world, digital world. But I should also mention that on the behalf of the students, they're very hardworking students. You could see yourselves from the ones we have with us here today. They do seize opportunities. From SMEP batch, most of them got employed in the MNCs, right? Quite a few of them got employed in pharmas in Asia as well. So from MMD, Master in Marketing Management and Digital, they're highly sought after even during their studies, because this is a skill you would need right now. And Asia would need the skill as well. So for example, the project we did with Dior was focusing on the e-commerce, specifically looking at the Chinese market, right? So there's big opportunities there as well. So I think all of these programs are unique in their own sense. And it takes a lot of hard work, plus seizing the opportunities, seizing the right opportunities that our students do to help them secure their dream jobs in Singapore, in Asia, and globally.
Great. I hear Estelle mention a lot of ESSEC alumni, and I also hear from from all the speakers. A lot of the projects, many of them are also not just with corporate, but the corporate were or these people maybe perhaps at one point they were ESSEC graduates as well. So how is that experience in you guys's time in ESSEC? Are you very are the ESSEC network very useful, or are they very are they helping you much during the journey while you're either in Singapore or in Sergi? How is that experience for you guys?
If you want, I can. I think yes, this network with the alumni is very important because, for example, many of the workshops that we had this semesters were given by alumni from the chair, and they were the ones who contacted our professor, and they suggested they want to take part of this chair and give back, and many of them were actually just last year's alumni from the chair. So this is very interesting. They said that they learned a lot and they want to try to give back because now they're working and they acquired a new skill, or they'd like to share some not only workshops, they'd like to share, for example, some positions that are available, some job offers for our batch. And also during our intensive week, where we had many workshops from Accenture, many of the employees in Accenture are ESSEC grads. So they also shared their experience, and they wanted to be part of this intensive week and give presentations. So that was really nice to see that maybe at some point we could be in their shoes, and we could also be giving back to this chair. So this makes a strong bond with students from the chair and ESSEC in general.
Right. So obviously ESSEC has a very strong French roots, but we are very, there's no question that it is a very popular or well-known brand in France. But how about, in Asia, in Singapore, are you guys getting a lot of connection or support for those, who are living or currently in Asia?
Maybe I can go. So actually, what is the best part about ESSEC is that there is a very strong alumni network. And so we actually have the privilege of networking with many alumni, and our career services team. They organize talks conducted by the alumni for us to listen to. So for instance, we have alumni coming from Benefit Cosmetics, and then we have alumni coming from Twitter. They are here and they're always candidly sharing about their experiences, how the Masters in Marketing Management and Digital course has helped them, and how, they really encourage us to just put ourselves out there. They even give us networking tips to, further bolster our career. So, I think it's because of this very close-knit community that ESSEC is that really, really helps its students, and of course myself as well, to learn more about the industry, get like maybe a mentor to, show you the ropes and give you some advice as well along the way. So that's what I'm really, really thankful for.
Yeah, so speaking of mentor, the SMIT program actually has a mentorship during the course. So I'm not sure if Dilga wants to speak about that. But generally, ESSEC alumni are very helpful and very friendly from my personal experience as well. So it's always a very close network and relationship that, students or anyone really, if you want to call someone on a coffee or ask for a flavor, there's always, possible. Okay, so there is a few quick questions. I'm just going to answer that here. So the chairs are usually available for the MIM program. So only for a handful of chairs is open for some other program, but for the MMD program, there's chair is not available because it's very intensive, and students, they have their own project and experience. So during the curriculum, and most of the chair only available in Paris. So MMD is take place in Singapore campus. So in this case, it will not be applicable for MMD. I know there is a question about exchange programs, but I'm not sure if you guys want to answer it here. Perhaps I can connect you to a student, the students to one of the speakers here afterwards. So they can talk about the exchange, or I can connect you with a student ambassador to talk about that later on. I think we are right on time. Is there any last minute questions? If not, I think Supita had to go. She has another work call with her Paris office. Yes, so actually, because we are running quite late, I'm going to take the spotlight and perhaps, answer the rest of the questions. And obviously, I know we have a lot of questions about the chair. So, and I mentioned a little bit about the sustainability and sustainability transformation program. So I want to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about that, because that's the only program that we are legally launching that will allow students to join the chairs. So, if you're not interested in MIM, or, if you're not planning to take GMAT, for example. So obviously MIM has a very different set of requirements, or if you're particularly thinking about sustainability and passionate about that, this new program is one of a channel to get a very unique experience focusing on this particular area, and also be able to join one of the chairs. So I am also, let me quickly share my screen here. And I'll bring you to the website. So everything that you need to know about ESSEC admission is actually hosted on the website. Obviously, you will find the program, and then you'll be able to see the list of the requirement, and then all the details that you need to know. Obviously, we talk a lot more about different programs already, so not so much about this one, because this is very new, and I want to quickly highlight that the unique part about the sustainability transformation program is similar to the shorter program in ESSEC. So it's a 1-year master degree. You will only spend about 9 months on campus, and during this 9 months you will have a number of experience and join a chair. Then you will have an internship. So the structure is actually more similar to, a Master in Finance or the SMIT program or the MMD program. So not so much of the MIM, because MIM usually it's a slightly longer experience. So in this program, there are six chairs available for the students. So unlike MIM, students will apply to the particular chair at the point of the application. So you actually will choose your top first and second choice when you submit the application, and you will know, and you will be guaranteed with the chair when you join the program. So in MIM, the chair application is it takes place later on. So each year the MIM chairs application is it happens around October for the next year start term, the next semester. So students in the Singapore campus or in the Paris campus, they can apply around October if they are interested in joining a chair in January. So there was a question earlier that, can you apply it in different campus? Yes, obviously for MIM students, you can apply anywhere, doesn't matter where you are physically, but if you are admitted in a chair, you need to be in Cergy in France by January. So you need to rotate, or you need to move to France in order to start the chair, because the chair physically they take place in France. So you cannot be taking your coursework in Singapore while joining the chair in France. That's not possible. So I want to share a bit specifically about the chairs that are available in the sustainability program. So there are 6 of them available. So earlier on the slides, you see there are 20+ chairs in the MIM program. So in this case, only 6 of them will be available for the ST students. Obviously, you can choose any one of them. If you don't speak French, however, the climate and social chair is not possible. So when you read the brochure, it indicates that 4 chairs out of the 6 are taught in English, and then the other 2 are French. So it depends on your language skills. They may or may not be applicable. Oh. Yes. Okay. So for a Master in Finance, chairs are not available. So for Master in Finance, the curriculum is extremely intensive. So the finance program has 3 tracks or 3 specializations in fintech, financial market, and corporate finance. So generally, they don't have a lot of projects like the other programs that we talk about today. So they focus on, the knowledge, and the curriculum itself is already very heavy. So they don't really work with companies on particular assignment like this, unless it's the fintech track. Then they have a capstone project at the end in the last module. So chairs not available, but you will have a capstone project if you choose the fintech track in Master in Finance. Okay, so another question about languages, if the languages will help your chance in getting a job. Obviously, it depends on the location you would like to get a job. Obviously, if you are planning to work in France and be speaking French is obviously very important and will be very useful. Depends on the type of role and the industry. Some of them may or some of them may not. So if you're going for more technical jobs like analytics, so a lot of times they don't really require different sets of language skills. But if you are working on, for example, if you're aiming for a marketing job, so obviously, the local language is really important, depends on where you are working. So ESSEC do require students to take on language classes usually. So if you're in Singapore, you will be able to choose between French and Mandarin. In surgery, there are more language classes available. So students will be able to choose the ones that they are interested. So if you look at the brochure, actually you will be able to see the language requirement. But rule of thumb is usually between Mandarin and French for Singapore, and in France they have other languages like Spanish, Italian courses also available. Okay, so I think these are all the questions, and if you don't have any other questions tonight, feel free to contact me directly. There are, of course, other sessions this week. There are other classes. There will be a master class in finance on Thursday, and on Saturday there are many more. So do tune in if you're interested to find out more about ESSEC, and feel free to connect with us if you have individual questions or a particular question about your profile and you want to talk about before you submit the online application. You can also visit the website to connect with a student ambassador. So you can directly speak to a current student to ask them about their point of view, their perspective, and their experience, in ESSEC. Okay, well, thank you very much, and have a great evening.